Iglesias set his sights on a career in music. A dream he kept secret from his father, who happened to be one of the most famous singers in the world.
The most difficult personal challenge for Enrique is being his own man. I think you come from a father who's such an enormous global superstar. It's hard to get out of the shadow.
Hell-bent on making it without any favors, Enrique sent out a demo without the Iglesias name on it. But no one was interested in his teenage love songs.
A lot of people said, no, those songs you write, they're only 3 chords, 4 chords, very simple, the lyrics are too simple. I mean, people are not going to get it. I always fought back and I was just saying, why? It's honest. It's how I feel. These are the songs that I love.
Finally, his tape and photograph landed in the hands of Guillermo Santiso, president of the Latin music label Fonovisa Records.
He was a very good-looking guy that had a beautiful voice, and he was very young, so that could be a super hit.
When Guillermo offered the young singer a 3-album deal, Enrique revealed his true identity and signed on the dotted line. He then dropped out of college and faced the wrath of his unsuspecting parents.
I remember saying to myself, okay, I'm gonna tell my parents tomorrow, and then tomorrow would come, and I wouldn't have the guts to tell them. And a week went by, and then a month went by.
He was afraid. He didn't want my father to know, and he kept thinking, what is my father going to think? Because my father always said, my kids are going to be doctors and lawyers.
His father found out at a party. Congratulations, your son just signed a multi-million-dollar contract. Father's like, huh?
And I remember getting a call from my father saying, what the have you done?
Enrique didn't want that rejection from his parents to say, just stay away from this industry that's brutal. This business is not cut out for everybody.
I thought they thought I was never going to make it. I think they were convinced that I wasn't going to make it.
But letting his parents down wasn't the only problem. Enrique also didn't want his dad meddling in his business.
I think Julio was very upset when he found out that Enrique had launched his whole singing career without ever coming to him for advice. Enrique actually didn't want his advice. He wanted to be independent, and whether he failed or whether he succeeded, he always wanted to do it on his own terms.
My father being in showbiz, a lot of people would have an opinion. I didn't want anybody to with my dream.
My dad is very outspoken. He'll say, I'm always right. I'm always right. And Dick is very private, and I guess he didn't want to hear anything.
And I remember getting in a little bit of a fight with my father, mainly, saying, okay, well, doesn't matter. I'm going to do what I want to do. And I packed up my bags, and I left my home.
Enrique's decision caused a rift between father and son that would last for years.
I've always been, in a way, the dark horse. I wasn't the one that was expected to accomplish anything. It's always been my driving force to prove that they were 100% wrong.
He headed north to Canada, where he recorded his first album in isolation, free from any distractions. Released in the summer of '95, his self-titled Spanish-language debut was a smash success. With his good looks and earnest love songs, in less than a year he landed 5 back-to-back #1 singles on the Latin charts. And then he won a Grammy for Best Latin Pop Performance.
My first album had just sold like 6.5 million copies in Spanish, 2 million in the U.S. with the Spanish album, which was crazy.
Overnight, Enrique became Latin America's favorite teen heartthrob.
It was like, oh my God, I felt like I was in a safari in Africa, getting attacked by all these lions and stuff, you know?
All of a sudden, you become very, very famous, very fast. The girls are chasing you.
We're going like 50 miles an hour, okay, down the highway. But these girls are hanging outside the window and hitting the window of the car. Bah, bah, bah. I love you. I want your kid. Nuts, chaotic.
The once shy, introverted kid now had girls throwing themselves at him.
He went from getting never late to getting late.
Before I was a singer, I used to get dumped all the time. And suddenly you become a singer. Someone's sex life can definitely get a lot better.
But Enrique hardly had time to enjoy the spoils of success. His life became a constant blur.
It was non-stop. I mean, going to every single newspaper, every single radio station, just constantly.
When he wasn't touring or doing interviews, he was writing or up all night. I mean, he basically did not sleep that entire year.
Enrique soon realized that living his dream came at a cost. He had it all, but he didn't have anyone close enough to share it with.
The loneliness that's the most horrible is the type of loneliness that you're surrounded by people, yet still you feel alone. It's very strange being surrounded by lots of people that say they're your friends, but most likely if you weren't famous or you weren't doing well, they probably wouldn't be there.
Coming up, the family rivalry heats up.
For the first time ever, a father and son are competing for the same award.
And later, a simple pop song helps a wounded nation heal.
After I was done singing the song, everybody was crying. It was unlike anything I've ever felt in my whole life.
When Behind the Music continues.